turnpike worker near Miami, Oklahoma, and more Missouri ranchers turn to a higher priced product. KOAM News at 10 is next. Now at 10, a crash takes the life of a Veneta, Oklahoma volunteer firefighter on the Will Rogers Turnpike. Plus, hot temperatures and dry conditions equal a dangerous combination for grass fires in southwest Missouri. And an assistant principal in Joplin starts the school year with a round of applause.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A crash on the Will Rogers Turnpike has claimed the life of an Oklahoma Turnpike Authority worker and left another hospitalized. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. The crash happened around 2 this afternoon on eastbound I-44 near Miami. 2 turnpike workers were on the shoulder near exit 313 when a semi veered off the road and hit them. The OTA says Zach Reinhardt, a heavy equipment operator and Veneta volunteer firefighter, was hit and killed. Authorities say Reinhardt was picking up trash along the highway. The semi then struck an OTA vehicle which had the other OTA employee inside. That employee was critically injured and transported to an area hospital. The other worker was in the truck and was taken to a Joplin hospital. Authorities reopened the roadway just before 5. In a statement, the Veneta Fire Department said in part, quote, Zach exemplified the spirit of service that defines our community. As a volunteer firefighter and member of the Craig County Technical Rescue Task Force, he answered the call to protect and serve his neighbors without hesitation, end quote. The department went on to say the Veneta Fire Department has lost not just a firefighter, but a brother. Our community has lost a true servant. Zach Reinhardt was 37 years old. Dry conditions fuel fires across southwest Missouri, and now a handful of counties are under a drought advisory. A third of Missouri is in the abnormally dry category. That includes Jasper, Newton, and Berry counties. Last evening, firefighters in Newton County battled a grass fire that spread to an RV and threatened a mobile home between Seneca and Neosho. No injuries were reported, and officials are still investigating exactly what started that fire. Further east in Greene County, a baler and tractor caught fire on Saturday near Willard, Missouri. That fire burned part of the field, but fortunately no one was hurt. Firefighters quickly extinguished that blaze, which started on a dry field during worsening drought conditions across southwest Missouri. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy now for a first look at the weather.
Well, and of course, it turned out to be a hot Monday for us today, and it's going to stay. Talking about Tuesday and Wednesday, we are going to have some rain chances, and then look at this, 80s next week, maybe highs near 80 degrees. So I mean, some big changes at least over the next 10 days. Had some isolated thunderstorms out there earlier. Those are gone. We look nice and quiet as we go through the overnight hours. However, on Tuesday, some spotty scattered showers and a few thunderstorms start popping up mid to late morning, and then really increasing late afternoon into the evening hours. Some of those guys can be a little bit on the beefier side. We're going to talk more about that here in a bit.
Catch in a few. For thousands of area families, summer vacation is officially over. It's back to school time around the 4 states. We begin our coverage at Missouri Southern State University, where a lot of students attended their first day of class. Faculty and staff rolled out this greeting with a free lunch, games, and more.
I love everyone so far. Everyone just comes up, they're like, oh, what's your name? What major are you? And you just make a lot of friends, and professors are great. Whatever help you need, they're like, come do this, and they're very understanding.
Although a lot of students did seem to enjoy the outdoor activities, a lot opted to stay indoors just to stay cool. Pittsburgh State University also welcomed students back to campus today. The Gorillas kicked off a new semester with classes starting this morning. For freshmen, it's their first real taste of college life. For returning students, of course, it's a chance to get back into the swing of things and reconnect through various back-to-school events on campus.
I think we will experience just a lot of fellowship. That's something that I found a lot here last year. It's a pretty small enough college to meet a lot of people, but big enough to have a lot of diversity, just getting to meet a lot of different people. And just
Students attended a number of first day festivities around the campus. Northeastern Oklahoma A&M students got the opportunity to meet the school's president on their first day of class today. The president says enrollment is up this year. Both the president and students got to hear their thoughts and hopes as a new academic year begins.
Students choose NEO because of the connectedness across campus, our faculty and staff that truly care about our students, not only in the classroom but outside of the classroom. That's going to be a focal area this year.
I really like their athletic training program and the way that they help out the kids and reach out to them and stuff.
One of the things NEO says it's proud of is their e-sports department, as they've recently ranked nationally. This is the first day that all students are back in class in Pittsburgh's USD 250 school district. We stopped by Westside Elementary, where teachers and staff welcomed kids and parents. Educators have actually been on the job for a while doing in-service days.
Teachers really start coming in. They're actually here all summer on and off preparing, doing lots of things on their own time, but also just giving professional development for our teachers so that way they're ready for the kids. And then we just really spend a lot of time together team building and preparing for the school year.
The students were welcomed with assemblies throughout the day. Wow, look at that. The school season for Joplin High School gets off to a round of applause. The applause came for Holly Eust, the Joplin High School assistant principal, who was just named the Southwest Missouri Assistant Principal of the Year.
I just always want to be serving and making myself better each and every day. I always tell not only students but my own children, if you're 1% better every day, then you're accomplishing something in life. And that's the key. And so I hope to do that for myself as well.
Wow, the honor came from the Missouri Association of Secondary School Principals, and judging from the applause, the honor was well deserved. Missouri's top cop plans to resign in September. Coming up, we're going to tell you what's next for Attorney General Andrew Bailey. But up first, some cattle ranchers in the Show Me State have begun raising a different type of beef, one that can fetch a much higher price. An increasing number of ranchers in Missouri are starting to raise and sell Wagyu beef. Right now, more than 50 farms deal with Wagyu. Chris Bryant introduces us to one Southwest Missouri farmer who's proud of the pricier products he's offering customers.
Unique breed, ancient breed, you know, and the full blood especially, they're a slower growing breed.
Warren Buffett once said, "Price is what you pay, value is what you get." The owner of JB Kobe Farms says for a cow to become market ready for him, it takes nearly double the time of an Angus, from 18 months to 3 years. And with that quality comes a higher price.
I would say probably double. There, you know, you will see some Wagyu at Walmart and other places. It's a lower quality Wagyu, probably the 50% Wagyu genetics is what that is, but yeah, about double.
Sidney Long is the executive director of the Missouri Beef Industry Council and says the growth of Wagyu is about the farmers.
We view it as another way for producers to evaluate what works for their own operations and find another way to add value to their product.
Long says research shows customers are willing to purchase up when it comes to meat.
They're more willing to pay for a product that says that it is a breed specific. Wagyu is included in that, as well as Hereford and Angus. They're more willing to pay for that than just a steak that is sitting there on the shelf that doesn't have a specific claim associated with it.
And customers are willing to buy local.
Everybody deserves to know where their food comes from, and everybody's been interested in that. But we definitely have seen an increase in wanting to buy directly from a producer wherever they happen to find it, whether that is at a farmer's market or they happen to know a guy.
Now, the prices vary on the quality when it comes to Wagyu meat. With some steaks and cuts, it can cost nearly $100 a pound or more. The Ottawa County, Oklahoma Sheriff's Department hopes to use a $250,000 grant to make improvements to the agency. The funding assistance grant is a program through the State Attorney General's office. Last week, the Ottawa County Commission voted to approve the Sheriff's Office plans for the grant funds. Sheriff David Dean tells us the agency plans to use the money to replace aging patrol vehicles, have department-issued firearms for the first time, and to install 3 license plate readers.
Without money, you can't do nothing. So this funding from the state is awesome, and it's going to be able to help us do what we need to do for the citizens.
Sheriff says the department hopes to receive this grant every year. Funds from last year were used to purchase things like department stipends and ATVs for responding in more rural parts of the county. Missouri's Attorney General announced today that he plans to resign. Andrew Bailey, who has served as the Show Me State's top cop since 2023, announced he'll be accepting the position to serve as the co-deputy director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Governor Mike Kehoe will hold a press conference at the Missouri Capitol to announce his appointment to replace Andrew Bailey tomorrow. Bailey's resignation is effective on September 8th. The position of co-deputy director of the FBI is a newly created position. A little later, firefighters in Joplin go on a rescue mission to help adopt some cats.
And we got some rain chances back.
At Roper Honda.
Well, it turned out to be a hot one again for us today, like we saw late last week through the weekend. But we have not officially hit 100 degrees yet. Hopefully we don't this summer. We average hitting 100 3 times. Now, one reason we haven't hit it is because we've had a lot of humidity. So those summers that you have a lot of humidity, it's so hard to get above 100. The summers we get above 100 all the time, it's a dry heat. Usually, you never want to hit 100 with humid air out there. We had a couple little thunderstorms earlier this evening. These are gone, nice and quiet as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight. But we do have some better rain chances, which we need. These are going to be moving in on Tuesday. Pretty much quiet start. May get a few showers that try to pop up mid to late morning. But a good chunk of the day is mainly going to be dry. Let me take you into mid-afternoon. Here's about 2:30. Now at this point in time, we're starting to get a few hit-miss storms trying to pop up. It's not going to be widespread. Not everybody's going to get rain, but I do think about 60 to 65% of you will get some rain, which we need it. And if you get stuck underneath one of these storms, it's going to rain pretty heavily for at least a few minutes. But some of these storms could be a little beefier, maybe low-grade severe, so we're talking winds at 60, some quarter-size hail, nothing that we are not used to around this part of the country. By evening, these will start to fall apart, head into Wednesday morning, pretty calm once again. A much lower chance to get an isolated thunderstorm as we go into Wednesday afternoon, but the humidity is going to start to drop off. We don't know exactly where these are going to fire up, so don't take this and be like, oh, Joplin's going to get 1.14 inches of rain. What it means is where those storms fire up, there's going to be a potential for a half an inch upwards to an inch. 89 by noon, high temp, still hot. 96 degrees, looks good right now, great shot. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort Indigo, just outside of Seneca, Missouri. This has been a problem. Humidity's been high, dew points lower 70s. What that means for you is it feels muggy, it feels soupy, and we're going to see that again as we go into Tuesday with that heat index 100 to about 102. Watch this. As we go into Wednesday, drops into the mid-90s. I mean, that's better than what we have been seeing. Let's drop southeast. Southern Atlantic, you got Aaron out here. Clocking winds at 125, a category 3. Now, this is going to get close to the eastern seaboard over the next couple days and then start to take a turn, but some of those outer bands will start to affect North Carolina. There's actually a better chance that a tropical system could affect the lower 48 next week. So we're going to watch that. All right, moving on. Thursday, near 90. I think Friday, much of the same. Near 90 degrees, maybe lower 90s, 90 to 93. A few showers try to get in here Saturday and Sunday, and we have much better chances for widespread rain next week. But I want to move in. So here's Monday, and then as we go into Tuesday, we get a cold front through that I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I'm hoping it gets through, but we're going to be talking about quite a bit cooler air as we go through next week. 96 Tuesday, 93 Wednesday, 90s, lower 90s, rest of the week into the weekend. But 80s for highs next week, which is going to be very well deserved.
Yeah, and I know it's called the cold front, but as you say, it's quite a bit cooler front.
Yes, exactly.
Thanks, Doug. Still ahead, Pitt State women's soccer is looking to take their next step in their second season as a program. We're going to hear from the team coming up. And the Gorillas volleyball program ushers in a new era with a new head coach. We'll have details next.
Today.
Last fall, Pitt State added a new women's sport for the first time in nearly 30 years, with the women's soccer program taking center stage. In their first season of competition, the Gorillas finished with a 500 record, and that early success as a program was a cherry on top for Pitt State, who entered 2024 with an emphasis on creating a strong foundation and culture.
The word I've used a lot is a whirlwind, because it was just a lot of stuff going on at the same time, like building a team, building the culture, all those things. But the group the first year did a great job of laying a foundation for what this program's capable of.
We didn't know necessarily what was going to happen with 37 new girls coming in and all of us from all different places, all different backgrounds, kind of just coming together. Honestly, we couldn't have asked for a better season with everything going on. The energy and our chemistry clicked right away, surprisingly. And it's, like I said, it's very hard to get that with that many girls being involved. But it was overall a very good season, a lot of effort, a lot of grit, and overall couldn't ask for anything better.
As the Gorillas gear up for the 2025 season, there are 19 newcomers joining the team. And after a strong start to the program's history a year ago, Pitt State believes they are ready to take the next step with a loaded roster.
I think the talent we have brought in this year and the recruitment that Wes has done is phenomenal. We have so many good players. Our roster and bench is so deep this year, and I feel like just the effort alone and the amount of talent and stuff that we're going to have is just going to be even better and give us a good chance for the championship this year.
I think that's something we're going to lean on to, especially as we hit conference time, playing a lot of players. It might be 18, it might be 22, but that's something I think that we're going to lean on and push ourselves every day to use that as our strength going forward. We want to make sure that we're adding different types of players, but also players that are just going to continue to push each other.
The Gorillas return to the pitch on Thursday in their second preseason scrimmage before the start of the regular season on September 4th against the University of Missouri St. Louis. The Pitt State volleyball squad opened their preseason practices last week, ushering in a new era under head coach Megan Bessaker. Bessaker replaces Jen Gomez, who spent the last 9 seasons leading the program. And with the regular season rapidly approaching, the Gorillas are embracing intense and competitive practices, with every player on the roster fighting for their role.
We have a big roster, so practices will be really competitive. We'll run very high-tempo practices, and we have a lot of new faces, so just getting to know each other a little bit more and playing to all of our strengths. Everyone's competing for a spot, and it makes practices a lot of fun.
Having that many people in each position is a great thing, honestly, but it makes it like we can push each other and people aren't content in their spot. The intensity, again, is just way higher, and you're pushing each other nonstop.
The phrase "nothing beats that good old home cooking" reigns true for the Gorillas this season, as they will play 16 of their matches inside John Lance Arena. And with 2 tournaments on their home court to open the season, the Gorillas are excited and ready to show out in front of the Pittsburgh community.
A lot of our home games are at the beginning of the season, so we'll get to know ourselves a little bit better at home, where we play probably better than on the road before we go on those away trips. I just think it's an area we'll all be familiar with. You know, we don't have a lot of time to prep for the season. I think just being familiar with the area, familiar with the space, it's nice that we get to play at home in front of our crowd, and we have good support from their families, so they'll be able to come.
Having so many home games makes the year already better, just because you get to have those home fans and the community comes together when we're at home. So having that opportunity to end on a good note here and have that many games finishing at home is awesome.
I think it's amazing, because being a senior, I get to play at home all the time, and then drawing in the community and all the other student athletes and the students is just a good way to just promote us.
The Gorillas will host their Red vs. Gold scrimmage next Saturday on August 30th before opening their season at home on September 5th against Lubbock Christian in the Pitt State Classic. As the dog days of summer continue, the Royals and Cardinals continue their fight for the postseason with new series to start the week. The Cardinals looking to shake off a tough weekend after being swept by the Yankees, and St. Louis gets back in the win column, defeating the Marlins 8-3. The Cards scoring the game's final 5 runs to pick up the win. Nolan Gorman with the icing on the cake, hitting a 2-run homer in the 9th inning. Royals coming off a weekend sweep of the White Sox, beginning a crucial 4-game set against the Rangers, with Kansas City picking up a 4-3 win in the opener. Mike Yastrzemski, Vinny Pasquantino, and Michael Garcia each clearing the yard with round trippers in the win to fuel the offense. Royals hanging in there with the Yankees not playing. They get a half game tonight, so they're right there hanging in right around with the Guardians, who still hold a half game lead on them.
They're in that wild card race, but they are running out of time. They got to close that gap quickly and then hold on to it.
Hard part is, of course, they need to win, but they need some favors. They need the Yankees, they need the Red Sox, they need the Mariners to start losing a couple games as well.
Yeah, all they can do is concentrate on what they can do, I guess.
Yep.
Right now. We'll be right back.
At Toyota's national sales event, we've got a long lineup of vehicles.
Salute Harvey Hazler, a four-state hero.
For adoption.
Well, look at this. Paw Prints of the Heartland in Pittsburgh had the fire department out today. It wasn't for a fire call. No. Instead, the firefighters posed with these furry felines as a way to help encourage adoption of some of the adult cats. Adult cats often go overlooked, so this is a way to get attention for those older felines.
I hope the most they get out of it is to remember the cats in our community, which we have so many cats that are homeless, going without food and water, and we need to remember them, especially this time of year. Kittens, we have kittens galore.
If you can't adopt, Paw Prints says they're always accepting donations of kitty litter and food, and volunteers in the above would be welcome. It's going to stay on a little bit longer.
It is a little better tomorrow. 96. We hit 99 today. But we are going to get some scattered thunderstorms, especially late afternoon into the evening hours. Humidity really drops on Wednesday, which is also great news. So even though it's still 91, 92 Thursday and Friday, it's going to feel a whole bunch better.
We'll take a whole bunch better. How about a final sports note?
Royals currently sit 3.5 games back of that final wildcard spot after a win tonight. A big series now. They can kind of eliminate the Rangers from the playoff race for that final wildcard spot with a series win. So Royals heating up. Cardinals still trying to stay alive as well.
Let's go Royals. Thanks for joining us. Let's make it a great tomorrow.